A huge welcome to our new subscribers and new members. Thank you so much for being here and supporting the channel. Let me quickly get started on this week's topic, which is about women navigating personal and business life together. This is a hot topic because a lot of the women CEOs and entrepreneurs that are in the expert and service-based businesses, they complain about not being able to switch off. And one of the biggest mistakes they make, and I've found they have a really hard time to let go of the work hard mentality. Now, a long time ago, when I look back, I remember being under the impression, and I saw this unconscious thought in me, that I was a slave. And this is where I tried a therapy called quantum healing modality, and it's called QHHT. And this is where you can go into your past life and get into your stories that you've been a part of. And there was a timeline where I was actually a slave. I was sold off to this family where I used to work on a farm, and I actually had to work, and I didn't want to work there. And I constantly struggled to show up in my daily life. And I even tried to kill myself in that timeline, because I was so depressed that I was worked so hard, and I was a slave for 18 years of my life in that storyline. Now, I'm not saying you have to believe that you've got such a lifetime that you can access to, but on this journey, healing, therapies, and your partners that are on this journey with you will be people like kinesiologists, Bowen therapists, Ayurveda practitioners, and the likes. Don't leave anything out, because this journey of success, it will take all of you. You will need to jump in with all of you, and you will need to develop the courage to let go of what no longer serves you, even if it feels like that's not right, that doesn't sound right, it's not happening. But guess what? It's in the part of your consciousness that needs to get released, and why not? So this is something that I wanted to bring up to your awareness, that this can be playing out in the back of your mind, the programming that you've got in the back of your mind that could be hindering your progress. And I wanted to share with you that business is not the problem. The problem is the programming that's running your current life. So let's talk about that today, right? A lot of CEOs and entrepreneurs complain about not being able to switch off and not being able to give their all to their family because they've now become business owners. And this is BS, okay? It is a part of the journey that you have to declare to yourself that you are not a slave to your work, to your title, to your job. You're not your job. You are you. And you hold the power to spend whatever time you wish on your family, on your business, in your business, on yourself, right? You have the power to choose. You never lost it. It's just a programming that needs to change. Of course, there is a system to this madness, and this is the system I teach in the Empowered You program. If you'd like to know more about it, hit me up with an email or a message, and I'd love to show more to you. Now let's talk about what strategies or insights or tips that might be useful on this journey for you to start exploring, so that you can break out of this thought pattern of saying that, because I'm in business, I can't have a personal life, and because I have a personal life, I can't be better at business. They can both coexist. Think about all the successful businesses that you'd like to work for, because a part of your mind keeps saying, why don't I just get a job? Well, you'll just be working with another entrepreneur that's actually stuck it out and become successful, believed in themselves, used useful strategies, learned to grow, and became a successful entrepreneur, which you are currently learning to do. So just setting that standard here to talk about it from an angle where I have got you to admit that you want to be a successful entrepreneur and you want to be a successful person, a woman that is successful in all areas of her life as well, the ones that matter anyway, especially your personal life as well as your business life. There is a way if there is a will. Wherever there is a problem, there is also a solution. So let me start with 5 insights and tips that might be useful for you to start contemplating on bridging the gap between where you are currently working really hard, almost like a slave, not finding that ease within you to let go a little bit, to grow into that multifaceted person, right? There's a lot of clinging going on. And I know the pain. I know the pain, believe me. And this is why I've dedicated my life to helping women be women that they want to be, and then also be successful women entrepreneurs and leaders in their life. So then, you're here now, and you want to get to the unstoppable woman who is successful in her business and creates the life that she loves, right? And it's going to take a bit of effort. But let's open your mind up to certain insights that might help you out today to just start contemplating to change this narrative that you've got, right? So, insight number 1 that I want to share with you is people that have no limits will never honor your limits, right? So you must always honor your limits through knowing what your limits are. Now, this is what we call boundaries, and we teach this in week 8 or week 7. And this is talking about how to know what you want so that you never violate your boundaries, and neither can anybody else. You'll always know how to show up, knowing exactly what your boundaries are. And for someone like you who's never practiced it in a certain area of life, like either your personal life or your business life, you will need to start with a very foundational practice of knowing what you value and if those values are being practiced every day. See, we think that by setting boundaries, we're suddenly magically going to be able to be a successful boundary, exerciser or applier. No, it actually takes a little bit of practice of what we actually want and what we value to be able to build that muscle of speaking what we value with more ease through the practice of values every day in the area of our life we are wanting different results in. So, an example of having good boundaries with your family and business, say you're wanting to spend more time with your family, but then you also want to give equal time to your business. Firstly, there is no such thing as equal. So, you must learn what really brings meaning to each area of your life. What is truly meaningful for your time with family? What does that look like for you? It's unique for everybody. And this is the kind of deep work we go into in our Empowered You program. When we know exactly what meaningful, powerful time with the family is, we tend to create that much more quickly than thinking that, it's got to look like I spend a half a day with my family and half a day on my business, right? So once you get really clear about what you value, so if it's quality time with your family, what does quality time with your family mean and look like? And then you make sure that happens. Either it be once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, once a day. You will start to get clearer about what those living values are to be able to have those boundaries for yourself so that you can start implementing them with more practical applications of it. So then we look at business, right? What does an impactful time in your business look like for you, right? Is it that you have to spend 8 hours on your business? Is it that you have to spend 7 hours on your business? Probably not. You probably spend like an hour or two delivering the service, and then the rest of the time you are spending it on developing the business. Now, if you're like thinking that you have to get all the tasks done in one day, then you're setting up yourself for failure, right? And also overwhelm. So what successful entrepreneurs do is that they have a scheduled time daily. Like, this is productivity. The value of productivity means that you do the meaningful stuff daily. It's the meaningful stuff, you have to get clear about it. So when you have the value of productivity as a business owner, you will then get clear about what does productivity look like for my business, and then plan your day accordingly. And so they're the same principle of knowing your value, practicing that daily, and then, setting those boundaries like, well, an hour a day is sufficient for me to work on my business. An hour a day is sufficient to work in the business. That's 2 hours a day. Can you see the difference in thinking and doing? So that's insight number one. Having been in business, my friend, for 15 years, I have learned so many lessons. And this is why I'm so passionate about working with women that are in entrepreneurship. I am passionate about this thing, right? Entrepreneurship is a way of thinking. It's not really a doing. It's a way of thinking that really develops you to be this unstoppable being. Now, whatever you choose to do as a business, as a service, that is like your vehicle to be you more effectively. So I hope that one hit home with boundaries. When you know your values, you will know how to act in alignment, and that will develop your skills to have better boundaries, whether it be personal or business boundaries. Insight number 2, and this is something that saved my life and saves a lot of people's lives, and this is something that maybe you do already, but probably not as effectively as I show lots of my clients do it. So self-care is my second insight for you, and self-care is a multidimensional thing. I want you to consider, what does self-care mean to you? What sort of care do you need right now at this point and cycle of your life that you're in? If you're navigating personal life with business life, a lot of women that I've coached have had babies as well as run businesses at the same time, right? And I've also met single entrepreneurs, like in partners but no babies, and they have felt like they have no time for a lot of things. So I just want to quickly remind you that when you think of yourself with time management, self-care, and running a business, navigating personal life, if you find you struggle with taking care of yourself, then let me just tell you, this is a number one priority that you must have set. And self-care can look very different for everyone. It's a unique thing for everyone because self-care is not a one-size-fits-all because of the cycle, stage, and phase of life and business you're in. So please make sure you see somebody. You can see me if you like, and you consult and get really deep into what your needs are and really get to know them. And hate to break it to you, it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. It's not the trip to the salon. If that's something that makes you feel good, but then you've got all this other stuff to take care of, then it doesn't make sense to go, right, a trip to the salon is equal to self-care for me, when there could be other self-care routines that could be more efficient for the time of life that you're in currently to be able to navigate personal and business life effectively. One last thing about self-care is that it's the make or break for a lot of entrepreneurs, right? So make sure that you actually look into this factor so that you don't end up sabotaging yourself on the journey of successful entrepreneurship. My third insight for you is being organized and efficient. This goes hand in hand with being a great driver of yourself. Now, a lot of women that I meet along my journey, they use the hashtag boss babe, boss lady, this, that, right? I'm not a fan of calling myself a boss babe, and neither have any of the clients that I've worked with. What I want you to embrace is the Shero's journey. The Shero is like a superhero, right? Or the female version of a hero that knows how to be courageous when everybody else will want to shrink and be cowards. And what that means is when you want your team to support you, right, you need to step up and be a leader and show them the way so that you can be supported to have more time to give to your family or to give to whatever else your personal life needs. And hey, there have been times, I've been studying, I've been doing exams, I've been doing presentations, I've taught classes and trainings, and worked on my business with team. So can you imagine, there's a lot of things that you are able to fit in, provided you're organized and efficient. What that means is you become and adopt high performance. You lead yourself. See, the other day, what I heard about the word boss, and I intuitively knew that I didn't resonate with the word boss, but I like it, but I'm not a big fan of associating with it. A boss talks down or talks at people, right? And so if I want to be my own boss, I don't want to be talking at myself because I don't like to be talked at. What I would love for you to also adopt is be your own superhero. Let yourself be soft. Let yourself be soft and relaxed, but also let yourself be guided by great organization, systems, and steps that everybody else can follow so that you can lead, manage, and drive instead of being driven and ruled by other people's urgencies. So organizational skills, productivity skills, and optimizing your brain function and health and energy is a must. It's an essential part of your journey to being a great driver of both your personal and business life. This is as simple as deciding to be a leader, not a follower. To be a Shero, not a reluctant Shero. A reluctant Shero will always want to look for excuses for other people bringing it to them, right? Oh, I'm waiting for this to come to me and then I'll do this. Okay, but if you haven't created a deadline, or if you haven't created a schedule, if you haven't created a timetable, if you haven't created any due dates, then that's going to set you back. That's going to keep you in the other people's limbo. So I would love for you to entertain the idea that organization is multi-level, of course, but it is as easy as deciding to be a leader and think like a leader in every area of your life. Take responsibility for what's going to make it really super easy for you and get those things done first, right? Decide on those things and let other people help you. So being efficient means that you have more time, and time is the money. Time for you means more productivity for everybody else. So you will need to learn how to be efficient as a person and then as a CEO of your business. I've got 2 more insights for you that I have learned to be very, very efficient. And this is something that I'm sharing directly from the Empowered You program and the SMF, the self-mastery formula, that talks about, firstly, communicating effectively. Communication starts with what we say about ourselves, to ourselves, and then to others, right? And you need to learn how to say the right things to yourself, about yourself, and then also to others. It's a skill. Communication is key to having a relationship that is harmonious in anything. If you're trying to navigate a good personal life, you need to communicate your needs. You need to communicate what you want or like. And you need to also communicate what are the outcomes that you're trying to create to yourself, about yourself, and to others. And then the same thing applies to your business. If your team is left to guess because you think, well, I've hired this person, they should know, and who here has had those people work with them? You've probably seen highly paid managers, and especially females, that say things like that. Oh, you should know this. You should do it like this. But then they'll pull you up and waste more time on saying how they don't like what you did. So, yes, even if you are working with a manager, you can be a leader. You can communicate to yourself your outcomes that you're looking to create. You can communicate with the other person or your manager what sort of clarity you need. Communicate your needs, and also let them know what you are doing or willing to do and not willing to do. Now, why I'm saying it like this is because what I want you to see is that without learning to language what you want to yourself, about yourself, and to others, you're not going to be able to create what you want. It's just that simple. And this is why we, as a part of our formula, we work a great deal on clarity. And the final insight today is your ability to say no. Your final insight for saying no is all about saying no to yourself and to others. Practice saying no first to yourself. Like, if you wake up in the morning and the habit you've got is to check your phone, tell yourself, no, not yet. I will do first what matters then. Checking your phone is going to distract your mind and fill you with all sorts of external influences. Now, that's a simple example, and a lot of us can master that quite easily. But what about saying no to things that come easy to you? How many days do you make a list of things that need to get done and you start with the easiest things to do first? Now, if you want to be efficient and navigate business and personal life really effectively, then my insight for you is do the hardest things first, give those the time first, get them done, and then do the easiest things last. This way, you're going to train yourself to become the person that can say no with ease. Because a lot of the times we don't say no is because it feels too hard. So start by saying no to yourself. And then if you need deeper help, of course, you might need to change your mindset. You may need to change your beliefs. You might need to clear out the old programming so that you can step into the leader you, the Shiro you, the unstoppable Shiro you, to be able to navigate your business and personal life really effectively. So my friend, if you'd like to talk more about this, please don't forget you can email me at hello@supriyar.com. You can visit my website. You can also check out the list of episodes that I made earlier than this to learn more about what we're doing here for women entrepreneurs. And lastly, I love that you're here with me, and I really appreciate that you're taking an interest to grow. So let me know in the comments below, has this helped you? Give this episode a like, share it with a friend, and also don't forget to subscribe and support the channel. Thanks so much. I'll see you at the next one.